Audio Jungle.
All right, so what's up, family? Tonight we are joined by a global powerhouse, Dr. Maxine. Some people know her as Coach Max.
Mhm.
Just such a visionary, a mentor, my mentor, a leader, a voice that has reached thousands across the world. She's built communities, she shapes lives, and opened the door for people to grow, learn, and elevate in their journey. And so I'm so honored, Dr. Maxine, to have you here with me tonight. Thank you
Yes,
for being a part of this moment.
yes, I'm so excited to be here. Want to say hello to all your viewers. This is an honor.
Appreciate you, though. Yeah, I mean, we were kind of just talking a little bit before this, though, but this interview has been like, in the making for well over a year. But listen, when Coach Max or Dr. Maxine, when she, lets you know she's available, you gotta, answer the call and strike while the iron's hot. So once
Right.
again, I'm honored and excited that you're here tonight.
Yeah. As am I. I'm just grateful that God has allowed me to even grace people's platforms. I don't take that lightly at all.
For sure. So, I mean, obviously, you've been doing a lot of things. You're just not, a day trader. You're a mom.
Mhm.
I'm sure, a pillar in your respected neighborhoods, whatever neighborhoods you end up, going into. But,
Mhm.
I believe one of the biggest things in our space, because, you're a master trader, and, I feel like I'm a baby when it comes to you. So that's one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to get an opportunity to interview you and kind of pick your brain. I'm sure everybody is, trying to DM you, trying to get
Right.
interviews. So
Right.
obviously this is something ordained. And I just really just, again, I'm so excited about this. But one of the first questions that I feel like everybody wants to know, is if they really want to stay in this space for a long time, it's all about, mindset, right?
Mhm.
And when when it comes to mindset, and first of all, would you go by mostly Coach Max or Dr. Maxine? I know you kind of recently became a
Yes.
doctor.
So yes. So Coach Max is fine.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
Listen, I gotta give respect. But
Yes.
so when it comes to mindset, what core mindset shifted, and helped you go from, and I'm using the word struggle, but struggle to successful in trading.
Well, that is such a serious question because without having the right mindset, and hopefully anybody listening to this, understand that I am somebody who I am a firstborn immigrant. My family's from Jamaica. Neither one of my parents have degrees at all. They don't even have high school diplomas, right? I'm
Mm,
one of six. And for me, it was like when I was coming up, grew up in Brooklyn, New York, I seen what struggle is, not just from being in a super big city, but also coming from a family that had essentially nothing, right? So going from that to having any level of success, if to me it was like failure is not an option. Most of the time when you see Hispanics or you see Caribbean people or people from Africa or South America, these different nations, even the Chinese, the Mandarin, they come from families that's like, you have to be a doctor, you have to be a lawyer, you have to be this and you have to be that. And I grew up like that. Like my parents expected me to become a doctor. That was like an expectation,
right.
right? My parents expected me to have good grades. My parents expected me to do things, but I'm sorry, the struggle was real, right? So I had to put it in my head that I cannot accept being broke. I cannot accept to live mediocre. I cannot accept the bare minimum in this lifetime. I have to get my mind right in order to receive the wealth that I'm after. It doesn't start, people think, when you hit six figures, like, no, it starts way before that. You have to put the seeds in your mind from now. Okay, that you're going to do this and you're going to get through it. Those are the mindset components that I had for this whole journey. Okay, to
Yeah,
keep me pushing forward, right? Because guess what? Life is going to life, y'all. Life is going to life. Everything
yeah,
is going to happen on your trading journey.
yeah.
Everything. You're gonna lose people. I lost both my grandparents. I've lost
Mm,
my god sister. I lost so many people. People stopped talking to me. People thought, oh, her head big now. She done made it. It just so many things, right? And I had to put it in my head that no matter what, I'm gonna keep going because my yes to trading opened a door for hundreds of thousands of people. What if I said no?
right.
You get what I'm
Wow.
saying?
I
Right,
do. Wow.
right.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. And I mean that's really a good pivot, for everybody because everybody's gonna have a story, and it's whether or not they kind of like allow that process or trust the process to be complete and finished, or just
Right,
kind of allow distractions and stuff to be
right,
kind of like to lead to their demise. But the
right.
next question is a great pivot, which is in terms of how do you stay grounded, and more importantly discipline, because discipline is everything, not
Mm-hmm.
just in training but in life.
Yes.
Even after reaching high levels of success, you just talked about your family and everything like that. So how
Right.
do you kind of stay grounded in discipline? Like some practical, like ocular examples on how to stay disciplined.
I will say that in order for me to stay grounded, you guys, prayer. Like, I'm a big person in ministry at this point of my
Mm,
career. I'm heavy on understanding that spiritual attacks are real, especially when you achieve more, right? We have to be understanding that, they say money is the root of all evil. And now I understand what that means because the more that you have, the more temptations are going to arise, right?
mm,
So you have to stay grounded. You have to stay in prayer. Another thing that I do often is I journal. Right. A lot of times when I feel frustrated, I feel like the weight of the world is too much. I try to write things down. I find myself just to myself, I love being a part of nature. If I could get to a beach, I'll do that. If I can walk, if I can hike, I'll
mm,
do that. Keeping my body intact, like those things are very, very important. You know what I'm saying? These are things you have to learn. So anything that keeps your mind at ease and your mind at rest, that's what you have to do in order to scale. And when I say scale, this is how I think of it. Scaling is like when you're at four figures, right? Which most people are, then you hit five figures, right? That's a gap. But five
mm,
to six is a big, big, bigger gap,
yeah,
right? And then six to seven is a big, bigger gap. How do you keep your mind focused and laser focused and discipline? The discipline comes from my children, right?
mm,
When you become a parent now, that's a whole nother thing. Like, okay, I'm not just doing this for me, I'm doing it for them. You know what I'm saying? So I
right,
cannot make any errors or any silly mistakes that's gonna fumble the bag, right?
yeah.
I have to make sure that I'm doing everything and, staying organized and things like that. So that's what I do, prayer. I stay in church, stay in ministry, stay under God's wings, and walk, pray, journal. That's like my daily thing actually. Yeah.
No, amen. And that's something we share. It's me, my sister in Christ, and
Hmm.
you know, that that's just a really great mindset to have,
Hmm.
because there's a lot of believers that kind of like feel like trading is evil.
They do.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what are you talking
Right.
about? You know what I mean? Just
Right.
allow God to steer you and lead you
In the
in
right direction.
right
Absolutely.
direction. So I
Right.
love it. I
Yeah.
love it. So we're gonna pivot to some trading questions, and of course we're not gonna do a super deep dive because if you want to be mentored and coached by the best, you know, we all know we gotta invest.
Right.
So, but as far as just like some trading do's and don'ts, because I'm sure a lot of people when this interview gets released, as a trader, we really like want to get down to the nitty gritty of like the skill set and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But a lot of people don't understand that there's some real basic like trading do's and don'ts, right?
Hmm.
And if you can kind of break it down, I mean, of course, you can kind of, be discretionary about, what you feel is the do's and don'ts. But what
Hmm.
would you think are some of the three like trading do's, especially for like every new trader
Right.
that they should commit to like early on in their journey?
So this is a phenomenal question. So just so your viewers know, so November 17th, which is this upcoming Monday, is going to be my ninth year in this game full time. Okay.
Wow.
I've been doing this 9 years full time. I have mentored 140,000 plus students across
Yes.
135 countries around the world. Okay, so when I answer these trading do's and don'ts, just know I'm speaking from massive experience here. And one of the trading do's, right, is to use a stop loss. I don't know what it is about the trading industry and the lack of risk management. It's like something like some kind of hidden phenomenon or something. Like people just
Yes.
don't do it and it's not taught. And it's like, it almost becomes a commonality of blowing your account, right? Or wasting money. And for me, it's like, why give that money back to the market? Why not protect your investment? The mindset needs to change. That's a mindset issue, right? So absolutely have to use a stop loss. The stop loss is in place to protect the account, period. That's it. And I tell my traders this, if you're going into a trade without even having the stop in place, you've already failed yourself.
That's big.
So
That's
that's
big.
how I teach, right? You cannot go into a trade and then get in and then you don't have the exit also mapped out before you get in. You're trading
Right.
wrong,
Right.
right? So that's something I'm big on. The number one thing I would say is stop loss. The second thing is you have to check your emotions at the door of the market.
Mm.
Okay. This market
Okay.
doesn't care what you got going on. It doesn't care that your wife left you. It doesn't care that your job is getting on your nerves. It doesn't care that your dog is sick. Okay. The market does not care. All right. So you have to understand that you have to keep your emotions in check. And this is something that fails many people. I'm gonna get into that in the don'ts, right? So keeping your emotions in check. First, your stop loss emotions. The third thing is to practice one strategy, not 10 at a time.
Right.
One
Been
solid
there.
strategy. That's my thing with my students. 90 days, can you stick to one strategy, consistently using a stop loss, removing your emotion? I guarantee you start making withdrawals.
That's big. I
Hmm
love it. That's big.
hmm
No, that's really big. And and it's that makes so much sense because people don't understand just the emotional roller coaster you go through
Ooh,
as as a trader. Like
right,
people see people on social media, sharing so many victories and
right.
successes and stuff, but they can't even fathom the emotion that people go through
They don't
as a
understand
trader.
none of
You know what
it.
I mean? And I'm sure 9 years, oh my gosh, 9
9 years,
years. And not just 9 years, but 9 years full time.
full time. Exactly.
Full
I had to
time.
say, that's why I said it like that. Full time. I,
Yes,
I do
full
this for
time.
real. It's not a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a bonus that's not even on my questions.
hmm
Did you ever thought you would quit?
Nope.
No, not at all.
No, my why is too big. No.
Oh, yeah. Amen.
No. And I've never been asked that before. That this is the
No.
first time that somebody used to ask me, like, did you ever think you would quit? No, because the reason I started was too big.
Mm,
It's too big. So I knew that it was this or nothing. If there was no plan B, there was no plan C, D, there was no pivot to this, pivot to that. It was like, no, this has to work. And when I even teach that, in one of the very beginning modules of my course, is like, if you don't understand the reason why you even want to trade, if the reason you want to trade is the fact that you are financially motivated, quit now. Don't do this.
mm,
You know what I'm
mm,
saying? Because
yeah.
you are going to find yourself in a place where you're going to not have enough motivation to push through times of fatigue or to push through times when it gets rough or to have actual resilience and perseverance when things get hard because everything is going to come at you. Let me give you an example. When I first started trading, everyone around me told me I was crazy for even thinking I could earn 10 grand a month. Now I do 10, 20K in a day. It's
Mm,
regular for me now. But at the time, people were that was unheard of. 10,000. What are you talking about? You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? And it was like I got started with this thing because I was working at a hospital, just so your viewers know,
Yeah.
on the nursing floor. It was me and nine other nurses, 10 of us. And it was just so hard. And I was a new mom at the time. And when I found myself, on this floor, and they would tell you, like, you can't leave, we're short staffed. You can't clock out. You can't go take a break. It was just like, okay, well, my feet hurt. Like, am I gonna be able to sit down? Am I gonna be able to take care of my kids at home? Like, what if something happened with the baby get sick? There was so much stuff going on outside of work, but it was like work was the priority for them, wasn't the priority for me. Right. So the why became so big. Like, I have to be a present mother. I have to be the person in my family that's breaking these generational curses, these financial strains on my bloodline. That's why it was not I'm never going to quit. That's just what it
Mm,
was.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm sure, like, especially if it's not working for people, I'm not like, I believe it's like maybe 21 days, you kind of create a habit. But
Right.
when it comes to this kind of stuff, it's like, my mindset has always been, if you stick and stay, you'll get your pay type of thing.
Right.
You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Right.
But that's big time though. And I think and we share like that exact that mindset in terms of if your why is not big enough, then you very likely will have a reason to,
To quit.
to quit. Yeah. So
Yeah.
no,
For
that's
sure.
big time. That's big time. I had to throw in a little bonus question
And
for
no, it's cool.
that.
Yeah. Keep them
I had
coming.
to. But yeah, it's kind of similar to the other one about the do's. But yeah, what
Mhm.
would be like your top like three trading don'ts that you see more importantly that you see really like vigorously hurting traders the most today?
The biggest thing that hurts traders today is following other people's strategy and not trusting your own analysis. That is
Yeah,
a big no for me. So, learning trading is like learning Mandarin or Chinese. You're going to look at the charts, you're going to see all these different characters and symbols and all these different things on a chart. The best thing you can do is to take your time at your own pace to study what you're looking at. What you don't want to do is sit here and take on someone else's analysis, right? That doesn't have the expertise, let me be clear, right? And then you're following them, and then next week you're following someone else. And then, like, jumping around is a big, big no for me, right?
yeah,
The second thing is trading multiple assets across multiple sectors at the same time. You will become confused, right? So you don't want to be dabbling in indices and then you're trading majors and then you're trying to trade stock and then you're trying to trade futures. Like, we don't want to do that. You want to hone in on one thing at a time, master one thing at a time before you move
right,
on, right?
right,
That is kind of why I got so good when people say, Coach Max, you're a master trader. Well, yeah, I mastered Forex before I moved on to futures. I mastered futures before I moved on to binary. I mastered binary before I moved on to stocks. So because people call me the Forex queen, but I'm the trading queen. I took a few years on each one of these sectors,
yeah.
right? So that I can hone in on the skill, and this is something that people don't do, right? So one thing at a time, guys, I promise you, you will see a big difference in your trading. The next thing is do not, and I repeat, I hope everybody turns the sound up.
Come on,
Do
come
not
on.
think that you're going to be able to get to a high level of trading without a mentor. Do
Mm,
think, because you see, my 9 years will help someone get this in 6 weeks. You
mm.
understand?
That's
So
a good
it's
point.
like
Yep.
that is something I wish that I knew a long, long time ago. You know what I'm saying? Long, long time ago. And I tried to shortcut myself. I didn't really have a coach maybe about the first 5 years of my career. And I'm kind of tripping my way. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the wrong mentorships. I'm in the wrong Discord channels. I'm like, how I get in this Telegram? It was just getting crazy, right? No
Right, right,
structure
right.
at all, right? You don't
Yeah.
want that. You want to have structure from day one. So if you're serious about this, don't jump around. Don't be that person on YouTube or that person trying to be in this person channel, that person channel, because what you're gonna do is you're gonna try to trade everybody's stuff and you're gonna get confused, right? So you need a coach.
No,
For
that's good. I definitely went through that until I
sure.
started
He's
seeing
like, I'm
this stuff.
resonating with that right there.
Listen, of course, I think we all do because, like,
Right.
even at the time I was living in Atlanta, and a guy called me. He had been trading, for a little bit, and he was just telling me some of the things he were doing,
Right.
and from there, it kind of went like, oh, because I didn't have like him personally teach me, so I just kind of went on a rabbit trail and
Right.
started YouTube and everything, and then of
Mm-hmm.
course I came across your stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
like I feel like because I'm from Philly, you from the New York area,
Right.
and I just like really kind of resonated with just like your vibe and everything like that.
Right.
So that's probably what it was.
Yeah.
Why I kind of like pretty much committed to you. And I was talking to Coach Max before we got on, and I was telling her, I said, I was saying, is it creepy that you got so many people that feel like they really know you, but they have never met you? She's like, no, not me.
Well,
She's like, other people, probably, but no, not me. So,
mm-hmm.
you know,
I love that actually because in the world that we live in today, it's hard to determine if somebody's real. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
it
So
is.
I've
It is.
always kept it real from the beginning. This is just who I am. This is where I'm from. I don't sugarcoat that. I'm the
Yeah,
black girl in the financial market space. I own
no,
that. You know what I'm saying? So you be you and I'm be me. So
right.
it doesn't bother me. Yeah.
No, that's good. Now, another bonus question? I got this is the last bonus question. Do you have any favorite product that you like to trade versus the other, or like you said, because you've like kind of mastered
Mhm.
a few of them, it don't
Mhm.
really make a difference. Do you have like a favorite or not really?
Yeah, so I have been trading gold since 2021. That's the only thing that I trade. So for the past 4 years, I've only had one asset that I've traded. One asset, one broker. Like I haven't shifted away. Every now and then I'll like teach something else, but like I have one consistent thing. And that allowed me to scale because once you learn the behavior of your asset, you can do what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to jumping around. So yeah, one thing and that's all I trade. You see my bull and my beard in
I
gold.
see.
So I trade gold.
I see. Now make sense.
Hmm.
No, that's good. Gold's my I'm married. I have a wife. I've been married for 11 years.
Oh, praise God.
She's my baby, and gold's my boo.
I love that. I love that.
No, but no, this is good though. And the
Yeah.
third question, and I when I edified you, I know you're building a legacy and everything like that,
Right.
and you're all about leadership. And it's funny because in this space, in this trading space, it's
Right.
like it's like by default you're teaching people how to be leaders. You know what I'm saying?
When I tell
So,
you, boy.
right?
I tell you, boy. Yes.
Yeah. So, like, you've helped, of course, thousands of traders worldwide.
Hmm.
What's been like really one of the most rewarding about that impact?
Man, another heavy question. I will tell you that I didn't set out to mentor people. It kind of naturally happened. So funny that you just spoke about leadership. So I found myself like back to the hospital, at this crazy job, working crazy hours, just completely unethical, like for real, what they were doing to us, right? And I remember being so down on money, right? That one day I prayed a prayer to God. Like, this is literally how I became Coach Max. And I
Mhm.
said, God, if you help me use this vehicle, because that's what trading is, it's a vehicle to take you to a different financial destination.
Yeah.
If you help me get out of my financial situation and teach me how to steward better, I will minister this trading onto your people. That was the prayer.
Mm.
So a couple of years after that, right? Because I kind of was still figuring it out. It was about 2 years later, and a young lady meets me in a Facebook group. At the time, we talking about almost 8 years ago, right?
Mhm.
The Facebook group was about just traders, community. Everybody want to be a part of something. And
Right.
she said, "You ever thought about teaching?" And I was like, what? Me? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know about that. You know what I mean? And then I ended up having my first group of 20. 20 turned into 100. 100
Wow.
literally turned into 20,000. And I was teaching for free. And then 20,000 turned into 91,000. And then we scaled to 140,000 2 years later. And that's how that happened, and the whole time I just began to remember, like, I said yes to this, right?
Yeah.
So what is most rewarding about the impact is that I'm able to touch people all across the globe. And
Mm,
I strive to do that daily. How can I touch somebody? How can I teach them? There's still people that don't know what trading is. There's still people that don't know that trading can free them like it freed me, right?
mm,
So I have to teach. I have to let people know, especially people like us, the black and brown people, do not know that this thing can free you if you literally take it seriously, right?
yeah.
So that's why I keep going, and that's what keeps the reward coming in for me.
Mm,
Yeah.
that's good, man. That speaks volumes right there, man. It
Mm-hmm.
really does. Like I can tell, first of all, the conviction in your voice, and
Mm-hmm.
then just how you have just a high level of assignment on your life.
High
You know,
level.
high level.
Very high right now.
I
Very
get
high. Yes.
it. No, that's really good. I appreciate that.
Right.
So then we, of course, it's kind of in the same vein of
Mhm.
of course, the legacy and leadership stuff. So
Right.
how would you specifically define like legacy beyond like the profits and the charts?
Mm.
You know, because
Excellent
that
question.
can kind of get like kind of muddy. So beyond it.
Like asking how do you define success without the actual income, the dollar amount, right? It's the
Right.
same thing,
Right.
right? So how I define legacy is this. Like I said, I'm a firstborn Caribbean immigrant, right? I come from two parents who don't have degrees and they built something, they have stuff now, they own homes and they have good careers. But for me, it's like I had to make a decision. I made this decision very early. I had to be like 16, 17 years old. And I was like, I got to do something different. I didn't even know at the time what the different was, or what I was even saying to myself, but I was like, I have to do something different. So that was the first time I remember telling myself, change has to come from me. And I want those of you listening to affirm that over your life. Change has to come from me. Change doesn't come from anyone else. That's the
Yeah.
first thing. The second thing is my assignment as a mother, right? I have two daughters. And for me, it's like insane the amount of things that I have witnessed in my lifetime. Like I've seen 9/11, I've seen blackouts, I've seen the Bitcoin way. I remember when Bitcoin was $425 a coin. You understand what I'm
Yeah, I
saying?
do.
So it's like when we talk about legacy, and I look at my daughters and I see the world that they're growing up in, they're both Gen A and Gen B, right? And I'm looking at like, okay, our children who are Gen Alpha and Gen Beta, they're going to grow up in a world of straight up technology. Like, what is going to be the skills that they have, right? When they get older. So it is my duty to continue to teach even the youth this skill
Yes.
set because the skill set will never die, right?
Yes.
So that is my legacy is leaving behind the skill set for the next generation. And that's heavy. It's a heavy mantle to carry. And I carry that. You know what I'm saying? I'm even thinking about seeing them kids, to teach them. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Listen, y'all, gold is mentioned 700 times in the Bible.
You better go,
And
girl.
this is what I trade. So let's
Amen.
let's let's get it. You know what I'm saying? I
Listen,
love those little
listen.
devices. You need to use them to make more. That's where I'm
Amen.
at.
No,
Right.
I'm with it. I'm with Ecclesiastics 11:1
Mm-hmm.
NLT. That's all I'm gonna say, y'all. Look up that
So look it
scripture.
up.
Go look it up.
So
You
look
know
it
what I'm
up.
talking about, Coach,
I
right?
know what you're talking about. Getting your
Amen,
word.
amen. For sure. So
Right.
we everybody should already know how serious Coach Max is
Hmm.
about like her faith and focus and of course finances.
Right.
So how has faith, or purpose guided you through your trading and entrepreneurial journey?
A huge question. I would be nothing without God. And it's just so crazy because when you make more money, everything is gonna attack you. I don't want people to think like, I didn't come on this podcast to sugarcoat anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is real life. The more money you make, the more open you are susceptible to get attacked, y'all.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
understand what I'm saying? Like people gonna see the things you have, and people gonna be like, "Oh, what you think? What he think? He think he too good now to be on the block." Like they're gonna be on that type of time. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't stay grounded and at the feet of Jesus, like for real,
Amen.
it'll take you completely off your path. You know, I watch people who I made millions. When I say millions, millions, and it's gone because they tried to keep up with other people. You get what I'm saying? So my
Right.
faith keeps me grounded. It keeps me like steering me in the right path. Like the wisdom of the word, you know what I'm saying, keeps me there. And I find myself, you know, not only the wisdom of it all, but in my ministry, like at my home church here in Jersey, I find myself teaching the kingdom of God about wealth. I'm like, nowhere in the Bible does it says that y'all have to struggle. Are we reading the same word? It doesn't
Right.
say that. Right? You know what I'm
No,
saying?
no.
Nowhere in here does it speak about you have to have long suffering. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
In order, no, we are supposed to receive the promises of God, right? So once I began to match the financial principles of the word, hear me, with my trading, and then
Preaching
I
now.
realized that the two go all the way back before Christ, right? I teach this in my academy as well. That is what keeps me like this, laser focused. It's in the
Right.
word. This is my skill set. I'm teaching God's people. I have an assignment, I have a purpose, and I have to continue. That's it. That's how my faith walk is. That's how my faith walk is.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
And I just love how you talked about the importance of stewardship,
Hmm.
and really making sure you implement that, because I think that's probably one of the biggest piece,
Yeah.
people not just stewarding money, but just storing their time,
Yes.
where are you spending your time at? Are you reading? Are you watching Netflix? Like, where are you spending your time with? So,
Come on.
you know what I mean? Like, I'm
Yeah.
listen, man. It's all about that. You got to be laser beam focused in this space. You have to, not just in this space, but how you
Hmm.
do one thing is how you do everything. So,
Right.
you know how that is. So now, what advice would you give traders, right? Because
Hmm.
that's, everybody's going to be really wanting the nitty gritty, specifically people who actually trade, who
Right.
are trying to balance like their ambition with
Mm.
alignment. And of course,
Powerful
we can keep
question.
it we can keep it biblical,
Hmm.
because that's our standard. So
Hmm.
how would you kind of address that ambition with
So
the
right. Powerful. First of all, powerful question. Shout out to you with the powerful questions. So, traders who are trying to balance ambition. Now, let's take that first part. When I first started, and this is gonna make sense when I'm done. My goal wasn't to become no seven-figure trader. I just want everybody to know. Like, I gotta keep it real on here.
seven figures,
My
y'all?
my goal at the time was to make $50 a day to put a little gas in the car. I needed
Really?
to buy diapers for the baby. Like I had no long-term vision of this. This was not supposed to become a career or anything. It's like I tell people this, when you're trying to balance where you are as a trader, you need to make it real life for you where you are. Meet yourself where you are. If you know that, hey, $500 a week would change my situation right now, that's where we need to stay. We don't need to be focused on making 10K a month. And that's what I'm saying, keeping up with the Joneses and trying to be like everybody else. This is not that. I, had to, as I was even like preparing for this, I was looking back and I was like, what kept me even going to the next level was I made sure I stayed in the present at the time. Right. So when I scaled and I started getting on a $300 to $500 a day type of trading, that's about 3, 4
Yeah.
years in. At that time, I began to relax myself and say, okay, what now? How can I steward better? Right? How can I give back? How can I be responsible? Some of y'all out there, is making decent income, but if you want to be a trader, you're going to need capital to invest. Can you put down, like you said, the Netflix, the Starbucks, the Dunkin' Donut runs, right? The Uber Eats and the DoorDash, because those
Right.
funds can go inside your brokerage account, right? Can we even have the discipline to want to go further in this trading thing? And this trading thing can take you far, right? So we want to remain in a place where we're one, grounded, two, that we're intentionally disciplined. Y'all hear what I'm saying?
Yes.
Intentionally disciplined in order to go to the next level. Now, staying in alignment, one, with your word, right? You got to stay in alignment. I pray before I touch any chart.
Mm,
I pray
Y'all hear
before I touch
that,
any.
y'all?
I pray before I touch any chart. First of all, my intention is to always win, and I'm at a level where I can say that because I know what my accuracy says in the data. But when I touch a chart, God has given me the ability to obtain the wealth that I have. So I
Mm,
have to first and foremost show gratitude unto him before I even touch the chart, the very skill that he put in my hands,
yeah,
right? To receive more. So this is what I mean. You know what I'm saying? When we talk about alignment, most people aren't even there.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
You need a mentor for stuff like that. So you have to
Right.
learn that along the way.
Wow, that's
Hmm.
big.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm pretty sure, like traders that are believers, I'm
Hmm.
pretty sure that's something that a lot of us don't even think about because you get so caught up in the moment of trying to feel like you're gonna what the FOMO, like you're gonna miss
Right.
out on stuff. That
Right.
the very reason why you know you are who you are is because of him.
Hmm.
So why wouldn't you give the
Exactly.
glory to him and everything? I live, I breathe.
Come
You know,
on.
I have my every being. So
Right.
like, why wouldn't you do that? That makes so much sense. But
Hmm.
obviously, we know that every people don't have the common sense that we
I don't have
need
that mindset at all,
to
you
have
know.
that.
Especially when people can't look past their situation. That's why I said that. That's why I said in the beginning, hear me, it's gonna make some sense. All I could focus on was my daughter needed diapers and I
Yeah,
needed gas to get to work. I couldn't
right,
see past, you know what I'm saying? Like I couldn't see
right,
past all that. But if we get into a place with him, and he will guide you. You understand? And then you will begin to see that you're blessed, and then you tithe and you do the things you're supposed to do as a Christian, and you start to steward better, and you look out for other people. You do unto others as others, to be done unto you. Have these principles now. And then you're like, wait, hold on. I just had $1,000 day.
right, right.
Wow. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? Like there
Yeah.
was a time when maybe about 5 years ago, it was during the pandemic, and I was able to bless moms. I was able to
Mm,
just do so much during that time. And I thank God. I was like, thank you, God, that you gave somebody with a good heart this type of money so that I'm able to help your people. Because there's some people out here, they're very stingy. Right. And they will not give others when they have their own. And I've seen this all throughout that trading industry. I'm not even going to say no names, but y'all know
yeah.
what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
People will not, they're not willing to share information. They're not willing to share money. They're not willing to give you the tips and tricks to really get the trading thing down pat. And I didn't want to be her. I wanted to be the person that people could come to and say, I could reach Coach Match, just like you reached out to me in a DM. I could reach her. You know what I'm saying? She's real. I
Yeah.
could talk to
That
her.
was
Like,
cool.
that's what I mean. Mm-hmm.
No, that was cool. Like I
Right.
remember when I made my first 1,000 in 1 week, and you couldn't tell me nothing. Like I'm like, oh, ain't no way in the world I'm gonna be working for nobody for the rest of my life.
Right.
You
You
know what I'm
like, oh,
saying?
it's up now. It's
It's,
up.
it's, it's up now. It's only up
Right.
here, and
Right.
no, that's that's such a great perspective, and really just can just really like I said, just like the humility that you have,
Mm-hmm.
not even the actual because we know you have the skill set, but I
Right.
think people can just relate to you a lot more because of your just
Right.
humility and grace that you navigate with.
Right.
And of course, not everybody get the opportunity to kind of
Mm.
be close to you to really know that, but
Right.
if people really allow the Holy Spirit to kind of minister to really who you are as a person,
Right.
they that can just seep out very easily. I just know that.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
know what I mean? But
Hmm.
so well, two more questions, and then we're gonna
Okay.
wrap this up and kind of really just start directing people to a mentor like yourself, and so
Hmm.
that they can stop
Right.
these pitfalls of struggling and stuff like that. But
Right.
what's next for Coach Max? Like any
Man.
projects, any mentorships, any like movements that you're like, personally excited
Yeah.
about?
Yes. 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 Man, I tell you, 2025 has been an interesting year because if you would have asked me this question 11 months ago when the year just started, I wouldn't even had an answer for you. Like, I don't know what's
uh,
next for me, but like the year just manifested for me.
yeah,
So first and foremost, I have now my PhD in Christian entrepreneurship. And I
that's
give all
yeah,
glory to God for such a huge milestone, to have doctor in front of my name. That is just
yeah.
one of the biggest things for me. So,
I,
that's gonna come with some books and some stuff like
yeah,
that. We gotta do
can't
stuff
wait.
like that, right? But major projects I'm going to release is actually coming out in 2 weeks. So you guys are hearing this first. My audience doesn't even know. They just see me kind of posting like, oh, something's coming. So
Oh,
I
wow.
actually wanted to do something super innovative this year, and I wanted to bridge the gap between tech and trading, right? And I wanted to help people in a way in which they could learn how to trade faster. So at this time, I'm actually coming out with this bot, and the bot is going to actually teach people how to trade your futures, forex, stocks, and crypto. It also analyzes all the charts. It does everything that I would have wanted it to do because it
Mm.
literally is trained by my brain, right?
Wow. Wow.
And I'm dropping this in like 2 weeks. And
Oh
I'm
my
telling
gosh.
you that the world is going to be like, how did she do this? Oh my gosh, Coach Max is crazy. Like, this is crazy, right? But I wanted to do this because I have my older students, my younger students, I have people all over the world in different languages. And I'm like, how do I touch everybody? Right. So
Yeah.
this is going to streamline their trading, streamline their studying. It's going to teach them risk management. It's going to teach them the charts. It's going to teach them, how to stay disciplined, how to stay grounded. It's going to check them with their emotional, protocols. Like, okay, before you get in the market, you need to do these things, right? So super excited to show the world that the biggest project of my career
Yeah.
is dropping in 2 weeks, y'all. I'm excited about that. I'm also coming out with, before the year's over, a mentorship called the Kingdom Vault.
Mm.
And the Kingdom Vault is
I like
essentially
that.
is bridging the gap between the Word of God,
Yes.
but not from so much your spiritual aspect, but the actual financial components in the Word, right? The faith, it's almost like faith and finance. Like, how is it that we want to give God our yes, but we don't understand the principles of wealth? Right. So I'm
Mm.
going to be teaching those things. I have lessons in there like the economic dominion, how things are going in this world at this time. Like, we are literally moving away from, where's one of my business cards? Let me show you something. These not
Wow.
going to exist no more. These
No.
these are not going to, you go certain places, they won't even take these. I'm
Mm-mm.
telling y'all. We're going
No.
to move completely away from paper. We're going to move completely away from plastic. Is the world even ready for
Right.
where we're going, right? So I'm going to be teaching stuff like that. And guys, I'm going crazy in 2026. I'm going to be all over the place on stages all over the world.
I see.
Coming out with a stocks academy. I'm coming out with some futures trading. Like, I want people to understand, find your footing in this space and make more money. That's what Coach
Wow.
Max is doing next year. So I'm excited.
Listen, you must have prayed for the Lord to increase your capacity.
Yes, I did. I had
That's a
to.
lot, man.
It
I'm
is.
so I'm so excited for you. I really am.
Yeah.
I really am. And so we talked a little bit about earlier, like because Coach Max kind of wanted to know who I am and everything like that,
Mhm.
because I know you, but you don't really know too much about me. But
Right.
I'm honored to really be here. So
Right.
so our manager group is called Chart Geeks. We have a TikTok account. We also have an IG account, and I've been trading for about 6 years, not full time, but 6 years I've been learning the craft. And like I
Mhm.
told you guys a little bit earlier, I think I said this, that I kind of really started trusting trading when I started following Coach Max, because it's again, I just vibed with her, and
Locked in.
I just locked in, and she just was
Hmm.
such an easy kind of like learning curve, and didn't really
Right.
make it like so complex like you see everybody do.
Right.
The game shifted for me, and it was more about mindset. And I think what Coach Mack really kind of brought to the table was I kind of trusted that I can really do this myself. You know what I mean? Um,
Important.
so
Hmm.
that's really what it is. So Chart Geeks, and but in terms of like how our audience, because I, of course I trust and I honor you and respect you for what you do and your skill set. But how can our audience follow and support your mission?
Oh, absolutely. So you guys, one of the biggest places I am on is Instagram at Coach Max underscore. You guys can reach out to me, follow my content. My business is called Evolving HQ. So Evolving headquarters, and the name itself is crazy because I was just praying to God, like, what do I call such a big, it's like not Forex anymore. It's like all these other trading things. And, and that's because traders evolve, right? So that's how I got the name for the company. So you guys at Evolving HQ everywhere on social media, at Coach Max everywhere on social media. You guys can't miss me. So definitely check me out there. Reach out. I'll send you guys my Telegram stuff. It's free. I have a community, very affordable. It's $79 a month. Okay, can't go wrong, and you're getting 5 different types of trading there. So that is just me giving back to the world. Everybody's trying to knock everybody over their head with these $1,000 programs. It's not that
Of
serious,
course.
right? I want to
Feel
help
that.
everyday people learn. And I've always been
Yeah.
that, you know that.
Wow. No, I love that. I'm excited about this bot. You said you didn't like no one really knew about that, but
Nobody knows about this. If you go on my social media right now, it just says something big is coming. It
okay, so
doesn't say nothing
yeah, we're
else.
gonna have to be strategic on when I release this thing. I
Yes.
respect that though. No,
By
I
the
love
end of
it.
November, so in 2 weeks, it'll be out. It'll be out for the public.
No, because they're really hard to like build and stuff like that. Like
Yes, they are.
it's super hard, and you to be
They are
able to
hard.
kind of just craft that and really release it to the point where you trust it
Hmm.
enough to just add that value to it. That's amazing.
Yes.
But I am so appreciative. With so doc, listen, I know I've been calling her Coach Max, but Dr. Maxine,
Yes.
thank
Thank
you
you.
again for for the time that you shared your wisdom and
Hmm.
your journey and your heart really with us tonight. And I just
Hmm.
love how you were so transparent about your leadership and
Right.
really your impact to continue to inspire many
Hmm.
people around the world and myself
Right.
included. And I'm just
Right.
so grateful for this conversation. I know everyone watching
Yes.
will take something meaningful from it. And I thank you for being here. And more importantly, I thank you for everything that you do. So I appreciate you so much. We honor you. And listen, just keep doing your thing, Coach Max.
Thank you. Thank you. And I just want to
Appreciate
leave your listeners with one thing. And this is to all my traders, trading is like playing solitaire, you guys. It literally feels like that, like you show up to the chart, it's just you. Get connected to some real people. Get connected to people of God. Get connected to people who really trade. For me, it is so important that if I could leave y'all with anything, and this is something that took me so far, just commit 30 minutes a day to the chart and really
you.
study what you're looking at and really come up with a solid plan. 30 minutes a day and don't stop consistently every single day, and you'll begin to understand this thing like never before. Don't give up. Don't let nobody get in your ear. Don't let nobody stop you. Okay, friend, family, or foe, because the trading industry, I tell people this, people have quit, and I have 100+ thousand students. People have
Of course.
quit, and people have come back and said, Coach Max, you still here. If I would have stayed with you 5 years
Right.
ago,
Yeah.
how far would I be now?
Wow.
And I want to leave y'all with that. The market is going nowhere.
It
It's
ain't.
not. So take your time and learn.
No,
Mhm.
I appreciate you so much, and because I know you super duper busy,
Mhm.
and our community is definitely. When I told my group about it, they were so
Yeah.
stoked. They're like, "What?" So they excited
Anytime.
about it. Yeah, for sure. And I appreciate you. And we'll talk soon. Okay.
We will talk soon. It was my pleasure being here. Thank you so much for having me. I cannot wait to watch this episode again. And we need to do part 2. So plan
Yeah.
that.
Oh, don't listen. Don't listen. I guess you like the questions.
Yeah, we need to do part 2 because there's
Oh,
just so
cool.
much, that we can get into, especially, when we talk about 7-figure trading, and when we could talk about trading competitions, and it's just all the stuff I've been through is crazy.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you so much.
Yeah.